everyone, hope this video finds you well. I just wanted to hop on here, and now that we're talking about occupational health and we really haven't discussed, maybe even thought of how our job affects us. A lot of times we're like, oh, it's just something that I have to do, right? Like, I have to make money, I have to put, money to put food on the table. And yes, you do, but you also want to think about how you're doing it, how it affects you in more ways than one. So, we talked about how occupational health is affected by multiple different dimensions, and then also it affects multiple dimensions. So just like, your mental health can be affected by your job can be affected by your mental health. So it goes both ways. Or how you function at your occupation, whether you are a homemaker or you have a job at Quick Trip, or I'm an athletic trainer, so I'm all over the place. How you do your job physically affects you, right? So say if I have an injury, so I have prolapse, I had to kind of rethink how I was going to do my job. Say if I had to lift a heavy ice chest for something, or lift a heavy football player, I had to be mindful of, okay, so my physical health situation is this. How can I optimize my occupation and help myself succeed at my occupation during this physical health challenge? And then vice versa. So say if you are a mama and you picked up your little kid and you were hinging down, you were grabbing, picking him up, and you didn't really think about it, but you kind of twisted too, and then you heard a little pop and you're like, oh my goodness, I cannot walk. And you pull the back muscle, okay? Hypothetical situation, happens all the time. So you pull the back muscle, so this is your occupation. You take care of a tiny human. That's a real thing. Try to keep the tiny human from not killing themselves. I fully respect that and understand. I want to challenge you here, because your occupation just hurt you, yeah? So your situation, and so now it's affected your physical health. So it went the other way, right? So now we have to look at how are we going to optimize these things, right? So for me, how I optimized my physical and my occupational health, I was looking at, okay, so how do I pick up these kids? How do I pick up my ice chests? Am I recruiting my pelvic floor? Am I using my diaphragmatic breath? Am I getting self-care and maybe going for a massage or body work from a women's health athletic trainer that I trust, or another body worker? Am I, what are the different strategies that I can use? Can I cart it over? What am I going through? For the homemaker perspective, where you are working with somebody who, I'm working with somebody, maybe a mama who has pulled their back. So now how are we going to optimize that position? Well, first we calm down the muscle, right? We kind of treat that. But then we're also looking at, okay, so how can we address our occupational mechanics to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and also improve and get rid of our injury. So whenever you're looking at it from both sides, you can kind of see how much this is interconnected. So now that I've addressed that interconnectedness, let's talk about ergonomics. Ergonomics is basically how you do what you do. So whether this could be mainly pertain to work, so your occupation, but this could be with anything. In athletic training, we address ergonomics a lot. And in my position as a women's health athletic trainer, I look at women's positioning a lot. Why we do what we do, how we do what we do, okay? So say, as women, I like to use a pick up the kid analogy, or just reaching out and grabbing something. So here's something that we all do. Farmers carries. So we carry in our groceries every single time we go to the grocery store. We're holding, if you're like me, I'm a one-trip wonder. I love to try to take as many bags in as possible. You grab those bags, you're carrying them in. How are you holding yourself? Are you letting the bags pull you down into the dirt, and you're just kind of lugging them in, flopping all around? Or are you using your muscles? Are you engaging? Are you breathing? Are you using your lats, using your core? Are you using your body optimally? Excuse me, so sorry. Are you using your body optimally in order to complete your task? So that's what I'm talking about whenever I say ergonomics. So if you talk about occupational health, how you do what you do is very important to your occupational health because it keeps you in your occupation, thriving and living well. So that long-winded saying is basically talking about how let's look at how we're doing what we're doing, looking how to optimize occupational health as it relates to the other dimensions of health and how other dimensions of health relate to it. And when we start to look at that and understand the basics and how that relationship happens, that's where the magic happens, and that's where the change can start. So if you want to discuss this further, I'd love to chat. Comment here, or let's start a new thread, because I find this interesting whether you have a job publicly, or you're in the home, or maybe you're out of commission for a while with injury. No matter what situation you might be in, occupational health is huge, and I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on that. So I hope that this was informative. I hope that you learned something, and just let me know, and I'm sure we will chat soon. And goodbye for now.